everyone. This is Nidhi Ketia. Today we will discuss about the isolation, identification and analysis of the phytoconstituents. Okay, so let's be started. So today's our study of the content, that is isolation, identification and analysis of the phytoconstituents of the glycoside and alkaloids. Okay, glyceritic is acid and rutin both are the example of the glycoside, and atropine, that is alkaloid. Okay, so let's get started with the glyceritic acid. Okay, so glyceritic acid, that biological source, that is it is obtained from the dried unpeeled root and stolon of the Glycyrrhiza glabra. Okay, so this is the biological source. It is the obtained from the dried unpeeled root and stolon of the Glycyrrhiza glabra. So there a family, that is Leguminosae family. Then glycyrrhizin is terpenoid saponin glycoside. Okay, triterpenoid saponin glycoside, also called as the glycyrrhizic acid and glycyrrhizinic acid. Okay, so both are the synonyms of the triterpenoids, glycyrrhizinic acid. Okay, and glycyrrhizinic acid is a glycon of the triterpenoidal structure. It is used as the anti-cancer, anti-ulcer drug. Okay, glycyrrhizinic acid is a glycon of the attached with the a glycon and a glycon both are attached, and the a glycon part, that is the triterpenoidal structure. Okay, triterpenoidal structure are the a glycon part, so it is the used as the anti-ulcer drug. Okay, so this structure, that is the glycyrrhizinic acid. Okay, glycyrrhizinic acid. Now we see the isolation method of the glycyrrhizinic acid. Okay, so isolation. So take the weight and quality of the glycyrrhiza root powder and extract it with the chloroform. Okay, first we take the glycyrrhiza root powder and weight quantity, and they extract with the mix in the chloroform and making the first extract. Then filter and separate the mark. Okay, this solution of the extract, that's called the mark. So they filter and separate the mark and extract of the mark with 0.5 ml S2 0.5 molar H2SO4 for the 1 hour. Okay, after the separation of the mark, glycyrrhiza root powder and chloroform both are the one extracted. Okay, then after the extraction process, they filter out and separate it, so that's called the mark. So extract the mark with the 0.5 ml H2SO4 for the 1 hour. Okay, 0.5 molar H2SO4 for the 1 hour. They mark extracted with the H2SO4 0.5 molar. Then filter the extract and the filtrate with the 3 portion of the chloroform. Okay, filter this 0.5 molar H2SO4, mark extract, and then filter and then extract the filtrate with the 3 portion of the chloroform. Okay, then separate the chloroform layer, then separate the add the 3 more portion of the chloroform in the extract. Okay, so they separate the chloroform layer and repeat this step again. Okay, then combine the chloroform layer and distill of the chloroform extract to yield the dry residue of the glycyrrhizinic acid. Okay, so we get the crude drug of the Glycyrrhiza glabra, that contain name, that is glycyrrhizinic acid. Now we see the identification test. So mainly two tests for the identification. First one, that is Lieberman test, and second one, that is the Lieberman-Burchard test. Okay, so in first test, 3 ml of the extract, we take the first 3 ml of the extract plus 3 ml of the acetic anhydride. Okay, then heat and cool and to this add the few drops of the concentrated H2SO4. What we do in this test, first we take the 3 ml of the extract and addition of the 3 ml of acetic anhydride, okay, and then heat and cool. After the heating process they give the cooling process, okay. So to this add the drop of the concentrated H2SO4. If 2 drops of the concentrated H2SO4 are addition, and then they gives the blue color, the observation in observation they gives the blue color. So that's indicates the triterpenoid moiety present in the extract, okay, unknown sample or extract. Then second one test, that is Lieberman-Burchard test. So in this test we also take the 3 ml of the extract plus 2 ml of the chloroform plus 1 ml of the acetic anhydride and 1 drop of the H2SO4, concentrated H2SO4 or concentrated H2 sulfuric acid. So they gives the blue or greenish color, blue-green color to red-orange color. They turns the blue-green color in red-orange color, okay. So that's also indicates the triterpenoid or steroidal part present, okay. So this is the identification test of the glycyrrhetinic acid. Then now we see their second one test, second one, that is thin layer chromatography. So in thin layer chromatography we take the two phase, okay. First one, that is the stationary phase, and second one, that is the mobile phase. So stationary phase, in stationary phase we use the silica gel G, okay. G, that is the grade, okay. So silica gel G, that is the stationary phase, and as a mobile phase we take the ethyl acetate jam, formic acid jam, glacial acetic acid, okay. The ratio, that is 15 ml of the ethyl acetate, then 1 ml of the formic acid and 2 ml of the glacial acetic acid. This is the ratio of this first mobile phase. And another mobile phase, that is butanol, then glacial acetic acid and water. So butanol, that is 7 ml, then glacial acetic acid 1 ml and 12 ml, that is water, okay. These two mobile phase preference for the TLC of the glycyrrhetinic acid. Then as the spraying purpose, N-acetaldehyde sulfuric acid reagent heat at 111 degree 111 degree Celsius for the 10 minutes, okay, at the 111 degree Celsius. And the UV cabin for the observation we use the UV cabin at the 366 nanometer, that is their lambda max, that is 366, okay, 366 nanometer, and gives the blue fluorescence. So they gives the blue fluorescence. So this is the thin layer chromatography for the glycyrrhetinic acid, okay. Now we see the analysis purpose. So also for the analysis purpose we use the thin layer chromatography, okay. So the TLC plate in analysis purpose, TLC plate, that is Kissel-Gall 60 HF254, okay, Kissel-Gall 60 HF254. This is the special analytical purpose TLC plate, okay. Kissel-Gall 60 HF254, that's the code 254, and 60, that is the grade, okay. 60 HF, that is the grade, and 254. Then solvent system, that is N-butanol into acetic acid and water, okay. Their ratio, that is 7:1:2, 7 ml butanol, 1 ml acetic acid and 2 ml of the water, okay. This is for the 10 ml of the solution, okay. Then detection, for the detection 1% cyric sulfide in the 10% of the sulfuric acid and heating at the 105 degree Celsius for the 5 minutes, okay. As the detection solution, like spraying solution, here we use the 1% of the cyric sulfate in 10% of the sulfuric acid and heating at the 105 degree of the Celsius for the 5 minutes. Then standard solution, as the non-concentrated of the glycerinic acid. Okay, as the standard solution, glycerinic acid, non-concentrated glycerinic acid, and unknown reference solution, that is the our extract, okay, of the glycerinic acid. And second one method, that is colorimetric method, okay, for the analysis purpose. So in colorimetry method, we use the sample plus anisaldehyde plus sulfuric acid. All the three components are mixed well, and they showing the purple color, and measured the intensity of the color at the 556 nanometer. Okay, in calorimetry apparatus, okay, machine. First we take sample, that is our extract of the glycerinic acid, then anisaldehyde and sulfuric acid. Three components are mixed well, and they gives the purple color. Okay, they form the purple color. So and after they give purple color, so the we measure the intensity of the color for the at the 556 nanometer, also called the lambda max. Okay. So now we see the second one, glycosidal drug, that is routine. Okay, example of the glycoside, that is routine. So their biological source, that is routine, is the bioflavonoids obtained from the various citrus fruit. It can be extracted from the leaves of the Phagopyrum and Esculentum. Okay, it is used as the capillary fragile factor. Okay, this routine used as the capillary fragile factor, and their family, that is Polygonaceae family, and this is the structure of the routine. Okay, their biological source, that is routine, is the bioflavonoids obtained from the various citrus fruits. Okay, citrus fruit. It can be extracted from the leaves of the Phagopyrum and Ensulentum. Okay, it can be used as the capillary fragile factor, and their family, that is Polygonaceae family. This is the structure of the routine. Okay, chemical constituent of the routine. Then now we see the isolation process. So isolation process, mainly two methods are available. Okay, so first we see the method 1. So take the weight quantity of the citrus fruit powder of Phagopyrum and extract it with the ethanol and in Soxhlet apparatus for the 12 hour. Okay, first we take the weight quantity of the citrus fruit powder. Okay, any citrus fruit powder of the Phagopyrum, and they extract with the ethanol in Soxhlet apparatus for the 12 hours. Okay, then filter the mixture and to filtrate add the 25 ml of the water. Filter this mixture and collect the filtrate, and in filtrate add the 25 ml of the water, and the above resultant, the above filtrate mixture first treat with the petroleum ether. Okay, mixture first treat with the petroleum ether in separating funnel and separate the petroleum ether. An aqueous layer, then treat with the chloroform and separate the chloroform layer. An aqueous layer keep in the cold for the 72 hours, and they gives the yellowish PPT precipitate separated. Okay, then dissolve this precipitate in hot methanol and filter it. Okay, dissolve the precipitate in the hot methanol and they filtrate it. Then the filtrate is the evaporation to drying. Okay, filtrate go for the evaporation, and after the evaporation process, they go for the drying process. Okay, so they gives the yellow powder of the routine. Okay, obtain the yellow powder of the routine. This is the first method. Now we see the second one method of the isolation. So take the weight quantity of the Phagopyrum powder dipped in with the N-hexane. This isolation solvent, that is N-hexane. So first we take the powder of the drug and mixed with the n-hexane. Then filter and separate the murk. Then extract the murk with the 90% of the alcohol for the 1 hour. Okay, extract the murk with the 90% of the alcohol for 1 hour. Then filter it and evaporate the solvent to yield dry residue. Okay, filter it and evaporate the solvent to yield dry residue. Then dissolve the residue in 30% of the acetone. Okay, dissolve the residue in 30% of acetone. Then filter and evaporate the solvent, 1/4 part of the solvent of the give original volume. Evaporate the 1/4 part of their solvent and they gives the original volume of the filtrate. And then add the equal amount of the 5% aqueous solution of the borax and mix well and maintain the pH around 7.5. Okay. Then there is a resultant mixture. Add the solid sodium chloride with stirring. Okay, solid form of the sodium chloride with stirring, continuous stirring. Then filter and acidifying filtrate with the phosphoric acid 5.5 pH. Stir for the 15 minutes and filter and wash the residue with the 2% sodium chloride solution. And again filter and evaporate filtrate to 1/4 part of the original volume. Okay. Then in lukewarm state of the HCl, that is hydrochloric acid, till pH reached at the 1.5. Okay, pH maintain at around 1.5 with using with the lukewarm state of the HCl. Okay, then cool and keep the liquid in a refrigerate for the overnight and crystal of the routine will formed. Okay, cool and keep the liquid, it's pH maintain liquid, go for the arrange in the refrigerator for the overnight and second day morning we see the crystal of the routine. Okay, this solution forms the crystal of the routine. Okay, now we see the identification test. So first identification test, that is take the sample of the extract of routine plus 3 ml of the ethanol plus few drops of the sulfuric acid. Okay, then add the 0.5 gram of the magnesium turning. Okay, first we take the 3 ml first we take the sample plus 3 ml of the ethanol plus a few drops of the sulfuric acid and add the 0.5 gram of the magnesium turning. So they gives the pink color develops and they indicate the flavonoids are the present. Okay, then second one test, that is take the sample plus of the lead acetate solution. Okay, take a sample and mix the lead acetate solution. So they gives the yellowish PPT, yellowish color PPT, yellow color PPT. So they indicates the flavonoids are the present. Okay, the third one, that is the take the sample and add the ferric chloride solution. So they gives the dark green color observed. Okay, they generate the dark green color of that solution. So they gives the they indicates the flavonoids are the present in the powder crude drug. Okay, now we see the analysis. So for the analysis we use the thin layer chromatography. Okay, so in thin layer chromatography, two phase, first one that is the stationary phase and mobile phase. So stationary phase as the silica gel G, we use the silica gel G. Okay, and mobile phase here 4 component mobile phase here. Okay, so first one that is ethyl acetate, second one second component that is butanone, third one that is formic acid and water. So all these 4 components ratio, that is 50 gem, 30 gem, 10 gem, 10. Okay, 50 ml of the ethyl acetate, then 3 ml of the butanone, formic acid 10 ml and water also 10 ml. And second one mobile phase, that is ethyl acetate, formic acid and acetic acid and water. So their ratio, that is 100 ml ethyl acetate, 10 ml of the formic acid and 11 ml of the acetic acid and 27 ml of the water. Okay, this is this mobile phase of the routine thin layer chromatography for the analysis purpose. Then detection, that is N-acetaldehyde sulfuric acid reagent. Okay, N-acetaldehyde sulfuric reagent for the detection purpose. Okay, we use this is the analysis method. Now we see the third one drug of the this contain and first drug of the alkaloids. Okay, now we start the alkaloids part. So in first drug, that is atropine. So atropine, that biological source, that is the atropine is naturally occurring tropane alkaloids extracted from the Atropa belladonna and Dhatura stamionium and Hyoscyamus niger. Okay, these three biological source of the atropine. Their family, that is solanaceae family, and it is used as the anticholinergic agent, mydriatic agent and antidotes in opium poisoning. Okay, used for the opium poisoning and like anticholinergic agent, mydriatic agent and antidotes in opium poisoning, in antidotes in the specific opium poisoning, and also they used as the anticholinergic agent and mydriatic agent. Okay, now we see the isolation process. So in this isolation process we see the first method. So take weight quantity of the powder of above any mentioned drug. Okay, take a quantity of the weight and after take the quantity of the crude drug, that is atropine having crude drug. So and treated with the sodium carbonate solution. Okay, this crude drug are treated with the sodium carbonate solution. Then resultant mixture further the extract with the ether. Okay, collect the filter of this sodium carbonate solution and the drug. Okay, then this mixture further extracted with the ether and filter it, and to filter it add the aqueous acetic acid. Add the aqueous acetic acid and further extract with the ether. Okay, then separate the both layer in separating funnel and treat the aqueous acidic layer with sodium bicarbonate, and tropane alkaloids gets the precipitate and filter it and then dry. Okay, then we take the fresh crude atropine. Okay, then dissolve the dry powder in diethyl ether and filter it. Dissolve the powder and dissolve the dry powder of the dye in the diethyl ether and concentrate with the filter. So they gives the atropine crystal. Okay, this is the first isolation method. Now we see the second one, isolation method. So take the weight quantity of the powder of the crude drug. Okay, and then extracted with the 95% of the alcohol in Soxhlet assembly. Okay, then filter and concentrate extract. Filter it and concentrated extract, and to add the dilute HCl hydrochloric acid and filter it. Then refiltrate with the petroleum ether to remove the impurity. Then separate the petroleum ether layer and makes the aqueous solution alkaline by adding ammonium solution. And to above this resultant mixture, add the chloroform and repeat this step with 3 times more. Okay, repeat this step 3 times more. Then combine the chloroform extract and evaporate the dryness, and give again extract powder with dilute oxalic acid, and the finally atropine crystal are obtained. Okay, they combine the chloroform extract and evaporate and dry. Okay, the powder is drying, and again extract powder with the dilute oxalic acid, and they gives the atropine crystal obtained. Okay, then now we see the third one method of the isolation. So take the weight quantity of the powder as above mentioned drug. Okay, atropine powder quantity, and moisten with the aqueous solution of the potassium carbonate. Okay, moisten with the aqueous solution of the potassium carbonate. Then extract with the mixture extract this mixture with the chloroform. Okay, not making the extract with the potassium carbonate just for the moisten. Okay, powder moisten with the aqueous solution of the potassium carbonate. And this potassium carbonate and drug both mixed well, and the mixture we add with the chloroform, extract with the chloroform, and then filter it and evaporate. Okay, chloroform filter this and evaporation, then residue further extract with the dilute sulfuric acid. Okay, dilute sulfuric acid and made the acidic extract alkaline by adding potassium carbonate, and atropine get precipitated out. Okay, and then recrystallization with the alcohol, so they gives the fresh atropine crystal. Okay, atropine gives the precipitate out, get the precipitate out, and recrystallization with the alcohol, any methanol, ethanol with alcohol, then they gives the crystal of the atropine. Okay, now we see the identification test of the atropine. So Vitali-Morin reaction, this is the first identification test, that is Vitali-Morin reaction. So in this reaction, take the sample to this, add the drop of the sulfuric acid followed by the evaporation, and add the 0.3 ml of the 3% methanolic potassium hydroxide solution. Okay, so they generate the purple color. So they indicates the atropine are the present. Okay, in this test, first we take the sample of the drug and add the few drops of the sulfuric acid followed by the evaporation, add the 0.3 ml of the 3% methanolic potassium hydroxide solution. Okay, so they generate the purple color and they indicates the presence of the atropine. Then second one method, that is thin layer chromatography, or also called the HPLC. So there is stationary phase, that is silica gel, and mobile phase, that is toluene, ethyl acetate and diethylamine. Toluene present in 7 ml, then ethyl acetate 2 and diethylamine 1 ml. Okay, so and spraying reagent, that is drag and drop reagent, showing the yellow orange spot. Okay, drag and drop for the spraying purpose, detection reagent or spraying reagent, that is drag and drop reagent, showing the yellowish orange spot. Okay, this is the analysis method. Okay, now we see the analysis method. Above this is the identification method. Now we see the analysis method with the TLC, thin layer chromatography. In this also we use the mobile phase, stationary phase, that is silica gel, and mobile phase, that is chloroform, acetone and diethylamine. The ratio, that is 5, 4 and 1. 5 ml chloroform, acetone 4 ml and diethylamine 1 ml. Or TLC plate is spread with the acidified iodo-platinum solution. Okay, spread with the acidified iodo-platinum solution. And second one mobile phase, that is acetone plus acetone and 0.5 ml of the sodium chloride solution. Okay, sodium chloride solution. And then spraying the reagent, that is drag and drop reagent, showing the orange spot. Okay, the RF value, that is 0.18. Spraying reagent or detection reagent, that is drag and drops reagent, and they gives the orange color spot, and their RF value, that is 0.18. Okay, so now we will end our session of this isolation, identification identification and analysis method of the glycosidal drug, that is glycyrrhizamic acid and routine, and also today we learn the one alkaloidal drug, that is atropine. Okay, so thank you to all.